so much for taking the time to chat to us tonight. It's an absolute honour having you on the show, and we cannot wait until you get down here to Australia very, very soon.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. You're in Japan at the moment. How has it been in Japan?
Well, we're actually in Bangkok, Thailand right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about to play a show. We're going to sound check in about an hour or so. And we have a show tonight with a couple bands. And we'll get a little rest. And then we have to leave the hotel at 5 in the morning. To catch a flight at 8:30. It's a long flight to come, to Australia. So we'll be arriving there, I think, something like 9:30 tomorrow night, and we'll rest up, and then we'll get ready for the next day.
Awesome. So what's the metal scene like there in Bangkok? I spend a lot of time in Thailand for work, but I'm normally in Phuket, where I know they've got some amazing metal clubs. What's the Bangkok metal scene like?
Well, I don't know. We're about to find out. I know that there's got to be something going on because we're gonna be there.
Definitely. Now, you arrive in Australia tomorrow, as you said. How excited are you about being able to finally bring the band to Australia after all of these years?
It's almost undescribable, and it's been a while, as far as the band doing different things and over the years, and to finally, be approaching that, it's an amazing feeling. We just played in Singapore, and it was, that kind of buzz when you come in and you see this city that you've just never seen before, and a place that you've never witnessed. It's truly extraordinary, and then to come here to Bangkok and to be in Thailand, it's pretty surreal. Fortunately, we had more time in Singapore. We had a great host that took us around the city where we were, and really, showed us great places, and we ate great food, and he was an amazing host. It was one of those once in a lifetime experiences, really. And today's been pretty chill. We're staying at a nice hotel, and you kind of want to just rest all day. But to come to Australia and to be able to play 3 shows, to be able to hit 3 cities while we're there is going to be, I think, it's going to be exceptional. And I hope that the metal crowd there is happy that we're coming. I hope that they come out and support heavy metal, not just us, but the other bands, Hidden Intent, and the local bands that are going to be hitting the shows as well. Because it's up to the fans to keep this thing alive. We're definitely the black horse in music, with all the radio stations playing pop and just such a pop culture, and it's really shoved down most of the people's throats in the world, not just in the United States or whatever. It's all over the place, where it's either classic rock or pop or hip hop, which I'm for anything, whatever people like, but we have a say as well. And so the more that people get out and support heavy metal, the stronger it'll be and the longer it'll last. And it's lasted a long time so far. So
I think that's one of the great things that we've seen here in Australia. Heavy metal and hard rock are still so popular. I know when I went to school, and that's going back 25 years ago now, you got bashed for listening to metal when you went to high school. These days, you could drive past a high school and you see kids outside wearing metal t-shirts, and it's like you said, there's the pop element there, but there's a lot of kids these days that aren't frightened to go to school and show that they're metal and hard rock fans. And I think that's something that's stayed here in Australia. We still find that we have radio stations that are metal orientated and rock orientated, and they've lasted 30, 40 years. So I think we see a little bit of a difference here in Australia with how popular metal is.
Well, that's great to hear. It's great to hear. I tell you, in the United States and coming from the Bay Area, when the whole metal thing, actually started, as far as like the local clubs opening up, it was really Bill Graham, and there was a radio station called KRQR, which was the biggest like radio station in the Bay Area, and they are the ones that started the whole Metal Monday thing and got it going, and then it took off and it became Metal Fridays, and all the clubs started opening up to all the metal bands, and it was, at the time I was in a band called Blind Illusion, and so we finally hit into that, and it just exploded. Yeah. And Metallica came up from LA. They found a home up there because the type of music they played was the type of music that was going on in the Bay Area, and they felt at home there, so they stayed. And then of course they signed a record deal and were on their way to greater things and bigger things, of course. And but the Bay Area, was a real force at that time. But then I remember going to work one day and saw a billboard on the highway, and it said KRQR, classic rock without the agony of metal.
Oh.
And my heart sunk. And we were actually, a couple of my band members were getting ready to do a live interview on the radio station that night, which was going to be simulcast across the country, but one of the stations was going to be KRQR.
Yep.
And 93 Rock in Sacramento was going to play it, and they did. But KRQR, that was the day I saw the billboard. And they pulled that programming from the show that night. And I remember, going to listen, and it was not on. They were playing Led Zeppelin and Huey Lewis and the News, and it was like, what's going on? And it was their whole mantra. And they have been playing the same music since then. And we're talking 1991, something like that.
Yeah.
They're still playing that same form. They actually moved to another station. It's another, I'm not even going to say the name. No, I can say it. It's 107.7 The Bone. And they actually had a metal show, which, Billy Steele did, and on Friday nights, and that was a late night. I think it started at 9 to 1 or something like that. And that was great. But the rest of the time, it was all Clear Channel controlling the medium, and it was all just classic rock. And it was the same stuff that they've been playing, and they're still playing the same stuff. And they've sort of phased out the whole metal thing now.
Wow.
So it's a little depressing, but there is a thriving metal scene that's been happening in the Bay Area as of late. A lot of new bands are coming out, and a lot of us are still going. Some of the old school guys, Death Angel and Exodus and Heathen and Blind Illusion and Violence, and even Defiance is back together. And there's new bands like Cultural Warfare that are hitting the scene there and trying to keep it alive.
Definitely. I'm sure one of the things you're going to notice here in Australia that I don't know if it's uniquely Australian or whether it happens in other countries as well. You'll probably see 3 generations of fans at your shows. There's the guys that were around when your first album came out back in '87, and then you'll have their sons and daughters there as well. It's something that I've noticed more and more going to shows, and I know I'm starting to feel my age now. I'm in my 40s when I see that, but you often do get 3 generations of music lovers at shows here.
Yeah, well, that's, for sure. I mean, we actually, Lee Altus wasn't able to do this world tour with us. He basically took some time off through the summer. He had some family issues with his father-in-law, who was really sick and passed away, and generally I think he wanted to be home with his kids because they're growing up, and he's always gone during the summer because that's when the festival season's happening and everything. But we found this guy from Canada who plays in a band called Invicta. He's a guitar player, and he actually is the singer for Invicta. But he's 25 years old, and he is a student of this game, for sure. But he's definitely loves the old school stuff. But he also has a new brand of his own, music and the scene that's been going on in Canada. So it's a trip to see, because he's younger than my son.
Yeah. David, do you have any expectations from Australia? Like, is there anything that you're looking forward to doing while you're here, or anything that you expect to see when you get off the plane?
Well, we're hoping to see some crocodiles and some kangaroos. Joey's. No, I mean, I don't think that we have any, or at least I don't have any expectations. I just, humbly come there. It's really an honor to be able to come and meet you guys and have a presence there. And I hope it's something that we can do again. We just want to have a good time. We want to enjoy everybody, and we hope that you guys will enjoy, hanging out with us and listening and playing music together.
Definitely. Now, your fans are very, very excited about you guys coming here. What can they expect from the show? Seeing this is the first time that you've been to Australia, can we expect a set list that's going to go right back to the early days of the band?
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna touch base on all the records. Definitely Blast from the Past, from Breaking the Silence and Victims and Evolution, and then of course we have the newest record, The Empire of the Blind. We definitely, are playing, a few tunes off of that record because it's the new album, and it's fresh. It's fresh for us to play new music, and of course we want to always stay locked into where we came from, but we always want to be pushing forward. So it's going to have a little bit of everything.
Definitely. Well, David, I don't want to keep you much longer because I know you've got a show tonight. So is there anything you would like to say to your Aussie fans out there before they see you guys play live this week?
Well, I just hope that everybody comes out and has a great time, and everybody take care of each other, and let's have some, let's have a beer, and let's bang our heads together, and let's have some fun.